Hey guys, this is a new episode for Samplitude Studio, and this time we're going to be talking about hooking up a mixer to Samplitude Studio. So I will bring this up here into the camera. All right, this is a Behringer mixer. For example, you could use any kind of mixer, anything that has a USB cable out the back here, you can see, and this is hooked up to my computer right now. Now, one of the things that you might want to do, that you should do, is go ahead and download the drivers that you're going to need for your mixing board. Anything with a USB cable that can connect to your computer should have a driver that you can use. Now, you could use the Windows codec driver that installs by default, but it may not detect things properly. So I suggest that you go to your mixer's website and go ahead and download the best drivers for your machine. Now, for example, here I'm using a Windows 7 laptop, so I had to do a little bit of hunting for this Behringer 64-bit driver. So as you can see, as I pop it open here in the window, it's got a little setup icon. Of course, you press the setup icon, it goes ahead and loads up what exactly it needs to do. In this case, you execute this little setup program with the USB unplugged, and then when it tells you to do so, plug in your mixing board and it will go ahead and start installing the proper software. Of course, I've done that already, so I'll look over here on my speaker icon in the bottom right hand corner and go to recording devices so you can double check and see what's happening here. And of course, you can see my microphone's going up and down here as my USB device off my camera. You also notice that there's a line in Behringer USB WMD audio ready to go. And if you don't have this, you'll probably have something that says codec USB, and that means it didn't install properly. So you should have the name of your mixer indicated here in this recording tab as a different type of recording device other than a codec USB. So naturally, as you can see here, it is installed. So I say OK. Now I'll open up MAGIX. I already have it open for right now, but you can see I have a new project already opened up. So I know you hit the Y button. Always hit the Y button because it will bring up your system settings for your program. You see I have everything here indicated, multi CPU, blah blah blah. I'll go over to your audio devices, and here you can see that you have some items here that you can select that is called the Behringer USB. So I'm going to be using these on my next project, so I click them on to have them activated in the program itself. And everything else that you won't be using, you can click them off because it's detecting stuff from previous sessions. Like for example, my Apex 440 microphone, it's not connected, so I don't plan on using it for this coming session. So let's click that off. Anything that says stereo mix, because this is my onboard audio card on my laptop, I'm not going to use those. I'm just going to use anything that utilizes the Behringer for recording, and some stuff on here for playback. I could also have my speakers selected here and use them for specific things. Like, for example, if I wanted to listen to a certain, like all the tracks on my computer, I'll use my speakers on the Realtek right here, and of course I'll use a headphones for doing this. And for example, if I had somebody singing but they only wanted to hear their own voice, I mean, wanted to hear everything except their voice, all the music going on, and they wanted to hear it on the headphones, they would go ahead and utilize the mixer and have the mixer set up so that the auxiliaries take up everything that you want the person to listen to in that headphones through the mixer. And you can also cancel out anything that you don't want them to hear, like their own voice, because sometimes that might you know, cause a little bit of latency in what you hear, so you end up hearing your own voice, and sometimes that mixes you up a little bit. So with everything selected here that you need, that you want for your recording session, and everything deselected for what you don't want, now you will be able to go on and select what kind of what you want to have recorded in each session here through the interface. So now you'll see that there's you can have things going through the speakers. So I'll go ahead and indicate the output as speakers, and the audio input would be obviously whichever line in you want from your mixing console. So there you go, a little bit of an idea of how to set up your mixer within MAGIX Samplitude Studio. So for example, if I wanted to, I could have, the output 1 in track 1. I could have output 2 come in track 2, and put track 3 from output 3 into track 3, and have all that synchronized in one session. So if I wanted to have a microphone on one, a guitar on the second one, and maybe another live bass being played all at the same time, you can do so. Keep in mind that if any of these are kind of like mic'd, like the vocals, there might be some bleed through from one of the other instruments if you're not in a enclosed studio. So you just have to keep that in mind. But hopefully this helps anybody getting their mixer to work together with MAGIX Samplitude Studio 2015. I'm Richard. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.